Welcome to requirements for Reiki. There are only two requirements. In this course, I will be teaching Reiki as a form of self transformation. Reiki 1 will be the foundation, and the results of this course have left others feeling more present, peaceful, calm, and like they were at the beginning of something new. They felt they gained a bigger, broader perspective of themselves. Each person's experience was unique just to them. There are only two requirements to learn Reiki: an open mind that is ready to learn. You don't even need to believe in Reiki for its work. You do need to follow through, though. You will only get out of the course what you put into it. You will also need to keep out of your own way and not let your logical mind get in the way of things. Once you do this, you will realize you are more than you imagined as you discover your inner self. Second requirement is finding a qualified teacher who is ready to teach. Even if you don't finish my course, make sure that the teacher you do find teaches everything you want to learn. My first in person teacher stopped at master, and then I had to start over again with somebody else. Reiki opens the door to transformation, and it doesn't have to be about therapy for others. It can be a journey of self discovery also. It helps bring the focus inward so you can see yourself in new ways, and it helps you work with your intuition in a different way so you can make new or different choices than you may have in the past. We call ourselves healers, but we are merely channels for universal life energy to move through us. Reiki practice only helps us become an increasingly clear channel for this universal energy. There is no doing involved at all. Reiki energy intuitively adapts to the unique needs of the imbalanced body. During healing, aligning itself with mental, spiritual, and psychological framework of both the recipient and the Reiki practitioner. Energy is everywhere, in everything. As you learn Reiki, you will learn more about the different ways different types of energy affect the individual. But it's going to be up to you to take that where you want it from there. A key aspect of this harmony lies in balancing the yin and yang energies. The yin embodies qualities such as receptivity, coolness, introspection, and rest, which are kind of on the feminine side, while yang represents activity, warmth, outward motion, and stimulation, which is on the masculine side. These complementary forces must remain in equilibrium, as prolonged or significant imbalances can manifest as physical, emotional, or spiritual disharmony. Although we are all from the same original line of training, you will find no two Reiki teachers are alike. This is the only difference between one or the other. Eventually, you'll find one that fits your needs. There is no difference in the energy received from one school or another, although there may be a difference in the symbols or initiation attunement process from what I've learned. I took multiple classes trying to find the right teacher to fit me. Energy is energy, so no matter how you package it, it's all going to be the same energy. All Reiki teachers are part of the same family and heritage, so no matter how they try to separate these from the rest, and that includes me, the Reiki Master symbol eliminates all separation. The relationship with your teacher is what is important. Often the relationship between students and teacher becomes one of great friendship. Trust your intuition. If you find your first degree initiation or attunement doesn't get the energy flowing, find another one, another teacher for the second one. or find another person who teaches Reiki 1 and take that course. I did 3 in-person courses, one all the way through the master, one was just teacher, and the other one was from Reiki 1 all the way through master. And I did 2 online courses. One only taught Reiki 1 and 2, and the other one went all the way through the master. So they're all different. Everybody teaches different things, but I learned a lot of different things, and I've read like 3 or 4 different books to get it because I just like a lot of information. One word of advice. If a Reiki teacher promises you that serious illnesses like cancer, mental disorders, etc., will simply disappear after a Reiki initiation or attunement, they should be avoided. Some schools don't accept students who have already begun. I tried to take lessons from another course, and she wanted to Zoom with me to see if I had the right vibe or the right fit or whatever it was. So I didn't even bother going to that one. From my personal experience, it may also be harder to learn if the teacher is teaching a different mix. So I went through Reiki 1 through Master in one course and tried to do the teacher part with somebody else, but it was hard to come in at the end because she taught different way from the beginning through. The attunement part was still the same, but I felt more comfortable going from beginning to end with a different teacher. I personally won't make anyone retake anything from my course over again, because I've had to do that. Once you're attuned, you're already attuned, unless you feel like it wasn't right or you want to be attuned again. I won't make anyone go through my whole course again to finish their Reiki education and initiations or attunements. My only requirement would be a picture of your certification from a previous course to get to the level you need for my course. Once you have purchased the course, you can remain in the group and have access to the course information for as long as you wish. There will be different groups for each level to keep the level information separate and not cause confusion. And also, when I took my first Reiki course, I was really nervous. There was a lot of information. You try to cram everything in, and it was an 8-hour live course with people I didn't know. And I was kind of like judgmental about everything because I was really wanted to learn it, but in the back of my mind, there was like a doubt, like my inner critic. And then once I left, you have the manual, but you forgot a lot of what you talked about. So having these pre-recorded slides available to review, I feel is helpful. You can go back and see things again once you start working with Reiki on your own. And sometimes you may pick up something you missed the first time after you started using it. Like watching everything and taking the course as a new person, you're just like amazed at all the stuff. Then you get attuned and that's amazing and everything's amazing. And then you get home and you forget a lot of stuff and you start doing your self work or working on your pets or your family and you're like, "Man, am I missing anything?" So being able to go back and watch the courses again, I know you have the manual, but sometimes it's just different to hear it or see it. Having be available to ask questions to in the group, that's also helpful. So there's a lot of helpful things. I'm trying to build a nice community where everybody can reach out and support each other. It gives you the option of learning it at a slower pace also. I started reading books on things I wanted more information on that were helpful for me. And this is the extra information I also want to share in my course. I will be sharing my book list throughout the course. If you are interested in where I picked up additional information or you want to learn more about the subject. If you're like me and I'm just like an information junkie, I had a whole issue of I needed to do it the right way. I just felt like something was missing. So I read all these books and I learned so many more things and it helped explain things I felt were missing from my course. And it's nothing against the teachers. It's just you get a book that's handed down from class to class to class. So her teacher gave her book and they just copy them over. So like the game of telephone, eventually something gets lost. So I'll have a list of all the resources and source material for learning more on the subjects or any of the subjects that I touch on. With each initiation or attunement, the chakras are tuned to a higher frequency, which can bring about the following if you're open to it. It can take some time for beginners to tune into Reiki and really appreciate it fully. And like when I first got home, I used it all the time, and then after a while, I kind of forgot. It's like you'd have a headache and be like, doo doo doo. You're forgetting that you can just use Reiki on it and kind of help make everything feel better. But if a friend of mine didn't feel good, I'd be like, hey, I can send you Reiki. But for some reason, always forgot to do self Reiki, which is why in this course, I'm developing a weekly follow through, a daily thing that you can do to help remind you to use your Reiki every day and help do your attunements. You develop greater sensitivity for the energy of others, of things, and of yourself. This also involves sharpening your intuition, a sense that you may have been neglecting for a long time. This is why a focus on chakra work and intuitive work as part of the learning process. I also have a podcast on Spotify if you want to try it out and work on your chakras some more. But yeah, the magnification of our inner perception can change once you start using Reiki and get your attunements done. Growing self confidence and trust in life as a benevolent force. You will also find a sense of connection to something larger than yourself. When we find out that we are just a tiny part of things, we realize that existence wants the best for all its part, and we can stop resisting it for a change. So we got to let it go and let it flow. More compassion towards everyone and everything. You become aware of the fact that separation is an illusion. We all live on the same fuel, growing responsibility for our own life and being. You will start to take your life into your own hands. You will begin to work together with existence instead of against it. You're going to hear me say this throughout this whole course, all the way from Reiki 1 to Reiki 3. Reiki is not a miracle cure for all ailments. As a holistic method, it needs time to help the receiver's system rebalance itself. Now, consistent mindful practice over time can yield profound results that occasional intensive efforts cannot match. Many practitioners report experiences of profound peace, heightened awareness, and greater purpose through their practice. Sometimes instant healing can occur because of the initiation, attunement, or hand on sessions. Minor ailments like headaches or stomach aches, coughs, and muscular pains can often be balanced in minutes, though not always. Healing depends on the entire physical, psychological, and emotional history of each Reiki practitioner and client. Healing of the same issue may be different on each person. So you may heal this person with the flu, but this other person with the flu, maybe they don't get healed as fast and it takes longer. Depends on each person. Another thing that comes up is solving old problems. One of the side effects is many unsolved problems pop back up to be resolved, kind of like a Mercury retrograde type deal. But of course, you still must answer the call. You may see something that you didn't deal with come back up, but maybe you'll see it in a new light now because you've taken this Reiki course and it's opened something up. So now you're maybe ready to deal with it better, or you see it in a new way. And here again, Reiki isn't a magic pill that takes care of our ailments while we go about business as usual. Personal growth and change require determination. So you have to do the work. I took a lot of courses. Sometimes I didn't always do the work. I just took the courses, I took the test, I got the certificate, and I went to the next course. And then I took a course where somebody else was the same way, and they were talking to the teacher, and I'm like, well, I knew all this. And they're like, have you applied it? And then it clicked. You have to do the work. You can learn all the things you want, but if you don't do the work and take the next 21 days after this course to do yourself Reiki, It's not going to change anything. Everything will stay the same. You may notice some differences, but it's more effective if you do the work. I want to talk about resistance. Your life may not change overnight, but you will notice looking back all the changes that have taken place once you decided to take this course, or even get started on day one. Things will just open up, drop away, or just feel different for you. Sometimes we'll have resistance to these changes because changes can be hard, but eventually we'll spiral around enough and find our path and move forward to where we need to be. Now, I want to talk about resistance a little bit. I had a really good course. It was actually a money course um, from Kate Northrup, and she talked about resistance. So I kind of borrowed some of it for this course because I really liked what she had to say because I did feel it come up during her course in some spots. And I felt it come up in other courses, so I thought it would be nice to touch on it here. Resistance means we're growing and we are at the edge of our comfort zone. What is resistance? Resistance to learning something new is a form of criticism or reluctance that can manifest in various ways, including refusing specific learning settings or contents, rejecting participants or instructors, or disrupting the learning process. That's me. Raise a hand, ask questions, have a little quip, because maybe they said something I had heard somewhere else and I had to put my 2 cents in. Now I try to stay quiet during classes. And that's not to tell people can't talk or ask questions, but it's good when you realize that you're doing it as a form of resistance instead of just letting the teacher teach and you're not really trying to learn anything. It can stem from conscious or unconscious decisions and may be triggered by factors like other personal interests, age related beliefs, or past negative experiences. Some ways resistance may show up for you. This doesn't apply to me. I already know this. You may feel overwhelmed. You may space out and stare out the window and daydream. You may get distracted. Your phone all of a sudden is really interesting, or the tiles on the ceiling. You may feel tired and start yawning all of a sudden. So don't feel bad if you find yourself resisting wanting to learn or practice Reiki. Stepping outside of your comfort zone can be uncomfortable for many people. Learning new things can be mentally demanding for others. Our capacity to change can help heal the nervous system. Our nervous system doesn't like learning new things because our nervous system doesn't think new things are safe. Our unconscious patterns want us to stay the same. They do not like it when we try to make changes. But we can change our wiring to thrive instead of just survive. So if every day you just do one little new thing so your body doesn't freak out, it's one new thing and it creates change and then you keep going with the next new thing. Excuse me. The more we learn and practice Reiki, it will help us begin repatterning, repatterning, repatterning our inner and outer relationships with ourselves. It will help us find what needs to shift subtly or significantly to move towards the reality that you deeply desire. This is where it begins with clarity, compassion, and a powerful new way of being with the new skills you learn. As we go further in this course, we will also talk more about comfort zones, tolerance, stewardship, and sovereignty. We will learn ways to push ourselves from our comfort zones a little at a time to help us achieve the lives we have wanted, but for one reason or another fall short of having. Tolerance is another. Oh, I did put tolerance in there. Okay. Yeah, tolerance. Something's broken, and you're like, it works enough. Yeah, you're tolerating the broken thing instead of just replacing it. I hope you enjoyed this section of the course. Your degree of resistance around something is proportional to the amount of power that is available to you on the other side of resistance. And also, there is a list of some of my books. I didn't catch the bottom, but these are the books I use through my course: Reiki Fire, The Art of Psychic Reiki, Reiki Made Easy, Reiki's Teacher Manual by Tina Zion. Writing her book's really good. And Reiki Made Easy by Torsten Lang. He's got an online course too. If this doesn't work out, you want to try his. He actually just started. So I did his because he teaches both European, Eastern and Western. I might start including the Western, but I probably will wait to add that into Reiki 3. He's good. When I took it, he only did 1 and 2, and I think he just recently added Master. So I hope you enjoy this course. I hope watching this, if you already taken the course, you enjoyed it, and if you caught this for free on my site, hopefully it will help you decide to pop on in and check out the rest of the course. See you in the next module.